Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's session of Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. My name's Sarah, and I'm going to be your host for today. And today we're going to be going to Costa Rica. We're going to be climbing high into the rainforest canopy with Osa Conservation. Osa Conservation just finished building a huge canopy tower that reaches high into one of the most underexplored ecosystems on the planet. So today we're going to climb the tower and pause at each level of the canopy to explore and learn a little bit more about this incredible ecosystem that's packed with biodiversity. Oh, I think we just had a little lapse in the connection, so hopefully things will be going okay. We just lost them for a little bit. So I'm going to give them a little bit of time to jump back in. Perfect. There they are. Hi, Maria. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, we're good. A little hot and humid here.
It's rained the whole night.
I bet. That's the nature of the rainforest, eh?
It is. Yep.
All right. I'll let you guys take it away then.
Awesome. So, hi everyone. We are very happy to be here today, sharing a little bit with you about who we are, what we do, and where we are. My name is Mari, and I'm with Lily today.
Hey, nice to meet you.
So we are in the Osa Peninsula in the middle of the rainforest. As you can see. Oop. So first, I'll tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Maria Jose Mata. That's my full name. And I'm a Costa Rican biologist. And I've been living and working in the Osa Peninsula for close to 5 years now. I came in for an internship for 6 months, and then I stayed. I am in love with plants, with trees, and I'm working to try to save and to secure populations in the long term for these crazy huge trees that we're going to show you today. Lily?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Lily. I'm from Germany, and I'm currently doing like a short-term internship here at Osa Conservation in the tropical rainforest team. And yeah, I have a friend from Germany, and she recommended me to go here for like a short-term internship because she did an internship in the wildlife team here, and she said it was amazing. And they also have a tropical rainforest team. And I studied biology for 3 years, so and like my main aspect was botany, and so that's why I thought like, yeah, why not coming here and get an amazing experience in the rainforest.
You've been here for a couple of months now,
Yeah,
right?
for 2 months now, and I'm only staying for one more, so
Okay.
sadly.
Sad. Okay, so we are standing in the Osa Arboretum. And in case you are not familiar with what that is, basically an arboretum is a living collection of trees. So we have a trail network as part of the Osa Conservation Campus, based at the very southern end of Costa Rica in Central America. We are a small, well, not as small, a nonprofit working to conserve and reconnect the biodiversity between the coastline in southern Costa Rica to the highlands, connecting to the big forest patch in La Amistad International Park. So back to the Arboretum. We have a network of trails of over 30 kilometers that spans everything from primary forests, secondary forests, mangroves, a farm where we produce a lot of the food we eat, and also we have a huge tree nursery where we can produce over 40,000 trees, seedlings that we plant with the farmers all around this landscape. But Lily and I work with the botanics part that focuses on rare and endangered trees, such as this huge, beautiful ajo tree. Check this out. The scientific name for the ajo tree is Cariocar costarricense. So if you look it up, that's the name you want to use. It's a threatened species. Do you guys know that over probably 50% of the world's trees are facing the risk of extinction? Um, and that can even be 14% in Costa Rica, but 50% worldwide. That's the estimation. Some of these trees are very like data deficient. We don't know enough about them, and so that's why we have a whole international initiative to conserve the trees and to understand better the risk of extinction they are facing. And we found some beautiful flowers because this tree is producing flowers and fruits at the moment. Check it out. And this tree is called the ajo tree. And the reason that the reason why we call it that is because the flowers actually smell like garlic. It makes you hungry.
Yeah.
It really does. One of the things that the Osa Arboretum does or has the mission to do is to connect people with trees. Because normally when you come here, you would see this beautiful ajo tree and you would appreciate how big it is and how old it can probably be. But you rarely get to see the leaves, only when you find in the floor like this time. So we have a website, the osaarboretum.org, and all of these trees have tags, and you can scan the codes and it takes you to the website. And in there we have gathered information about ecology, what pollinates the tree, in case we know, what disperses its seeds, the uses that we humans make of them, and pictures of the flowers, the leaves, the fruits, and everything that we've been able to find. I'll show you one of the QR codes right here. So you can see this is what it looks like. We have over 300 species of trees in the Osa Arboretum, so we've been able to tag that many species and over 1,000 or 2,000, closer to 2,000 individuals. 28 of those species we know for a fact that are threatened with extinction. So for this tiny patch of forest in the world, we have 28 species. That's a lot. I mean, 28 threatened species. Here's another example of a threatened species. This is the Inga alba tree. So Inga or guava, you've probably heard of it before because they are very important in restoration and for humans in general. Can you tell us a little bit about the Ingas? I know
Yes.
you're an expert.
I'm an expert, yeah. Yeah, in the nursery, we also have a lot of Ingas for the restoration projects. And also that specific Inga has like nectary. So how do you call it for ants? So that like ants protect the leaves and the ants get nectar. So we can exchange. So it's kind of like symbiosis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Within the restoration project that we have, the whole Reach to Reef Restoration Initiative, we have planted only last year over 100,000 trees. And we have several different types of trees that we would plant in a restoration project with farmers, with the community. So we can plant pioneer species that help us recuperate the soils very quickly. We have, of course, the rare and the threatened trees that we plant those with a lot of care in very special places. And we have the nitrogen fixers, such as the Inga and other species within the bean family. So what a normal, typical day for us would look like working within the tropical forest team. It can be either walking around the trails looking for seeds. We do that within our own conservation campus or all around the landscape in private farms. So we work a lot with people, just sometimes convincing them to plant trees, but with the most in the most respectful way, because of course private lands belong to the farmers. So it's a matter of increasing sustainability, but also giving more opportunities to the people to increase income, for example, or just have it easier. The other thing that we wanted to talk to you about, or like show you more than talk, is a observation tower. And let me show you from below. It's not super good lighting, but basically we'll start going up the tower and we'll be at 30 meters in a few minutes. Where you would normally walk in the forest is called the forest floor. It's the first layer of diversity in the forest. That's where trees grow from, right? Where the bushes are, a lot of herbs, the big mammals like the tapirs, the pumas, the jaguars. But there's a lot going on all around and all the way up into the forest canopy. We're starting to go up. We use technology for conservation in a diverse and in diverse ways, and this is one of them. We're tracking how temperature, carbon concentration, humidity changes as we go up into the forest canopy and below the forest floor. We might get a little bit out of breath because it's like 1,000 steps. As we go up, I will have a challenge for you. If someone can think of 3 species of living creatures that are under risk of extinction, and then share a couple with me at the end, I'll appreciate it. It's a challenge because I like plants. You can see as we start to go up how the look changes. You can start to see the bushes and the herbs from the top, which is very interesting. Not the usual view that you will have.
And also it gets brighter. Some more light comes to the plants. More light. That's
right. The tropical forest is filled with a lot of smaller and slimmer trees and a few gigantic trees. This is one of the big ones, the Cypnolobium sporadicum. That's the scientific name. Guess why they call it sporadicum? Because its distribution is very sporadic. You can only find it like a couple of individuals in Mexico, then a couple in Honduras, and a few here in Costa Rica. So that's one of the reasons for which a threatened species might be categorized as threatened, because its distribution is a little scarce and it's difficult for individuals to reproduce among themselves. So one of the things that happens or changes as we get into the middle stages of the canopy is that we start to find a lot of epiphyte plants.
Epiphytes. It's one of my favorite group of plants, and we all along the canopy tower we have some infographics about every plant species that we can find on each step on the canopy tower, on the canopy of trees. And the epiphytes are one of my favorite plants because it's so special for me that they can survive without soil and without needing to be in the soil with the roots, because the roots can go around the tree and make them grab the nutritions and the water from air. So that's kind of really excites me. And most of the people also don't know that orchids, for example, most of the orchids are epiphytes and not really growing from the floor, I guess. For example, in Europe, in Germany, where I'm from, there's one orchid species that grows from the floor, but here in the tropics it's mostly epiphytes. So on trees, plants that are on trees or other plants.
That's so interesting. Epiphytes have so many important ecological roles, as you can see in this drawing that we have. For example, some bats pollinate the flowers of bromeliads, and many bird species, and insects, all kinds of animals, really. Even frogs can participate with epiphytes to make the whole ecosystem in the middle stages and the upper stages of the canopy work as one whole system. I catch my breath again, so we can continue to go on.
Perfect.
We have this canopy tower because, of course, it's very interesting to see a canopy as you walk. But also to fulfill our scientific curiosity of looking at things with different eyes, right? We normally go up here, of course, with visitors, tourists, students, um, but also for birding. It's amazing to come and see birds early in the morning in here. We have so many migratory bird species and also resident bird species. But also we can see from the top what tree species are producing fruits. So we can go and collect the fruits and bring them to the tree nursery. The most exciting thing that I've seen here is a toucan, a couple of toucans that were getting so close to us up in the top of the canopy tower. They get very curious. They were eating the fruits of a tree that is in the top. And the second is a lot of monkeys. So we have 4 species of monkeys here in southern Costa Rica. But especially the spider monkeys because they're my favorite. They're great dispersers of seeds. So I love to see them eating the fruits and think about how they then disperse those seeds all around the forest.
On my very first day here at Osa, I went up to the Canopy Tower and I saw like a whole family of squirrel monkeys,
Wow.
like so many with babies, and it was like so nice to see. And they were all feeding on the flowers from the apple tree.
And we are here at the top of the canopy tower. I'm just giving you a 360 view. And I'm going to see if I can show you, because we have a giant apple tree, another one, that is flowering at the moment. So you're probably not going to be able to see those little flowers. It kind of smells like garlic from here. And here you can kind of see the top of the sporadic distribution tree. So we sometimes climb the canopy tower to check if it has flowers or fruits, because we're very excited to be able to propagate this species. We've been propagating some species that are being propagated for the first time, as far as we know. And that's one of the most exciting parts of our job. Having a new species to science, for example, having a new species that we only know one individual in the whole world and being able to propagate it. And that's the mission we have, right? To have a positive impact in the populations of threatened tree species.
In the tree nursery, there's like another rare species that we have. It's called Crepea osaensis, and I'm measuring like the smaller seedlings, and it's so nice for me to see like their growth and to be able to like monitor their growth and see like how the species evolves.
Yeah, a lot of experimenting and data collecting happening right here. And so that's what we wanted to share with you. We are very excited for your questions and comments, so please don't be shy.
Amazing. What a journey all the way up. How high are you guys right now?
30 meters
30
up
meters.
into the canopy. Yes.
Okay, wow. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have trees and ecosystems that are this high and kind of go up to this elevation, there's actually little micro ecosystems at each level of altitude. Is it the same where you
Yeah.
go?
Yes, absolutely. So in the forest floor, you have a set of species and interactions that are happening, and it's different in the middle elevations where you have the most epiphytes happening, and then at the canopy, it's a little bit drier and more exposure to the sun. So you have another type of epiphytes and other sorts of animals. So you're absolutely correct.
that's also a thing you have to think about when people cut down the rainforest, for example. There's like so many species like on one tree that you would cut down like multiple species by cutting down one tree, because there's like multiple species of epiphytes, as Maria just said, like multiple stages. So
Right. So one tree isn't just one tree where a monkey lives.
mhm,
There's so many
mhm.
different levels of life that exist
Yeah.
and coexist within the same tree. Wow.
Mhm.
And you've mentioned the word epiphytes a few times. What exactly does that mean?
It
Good
means like
question.
it's plants that are grow on other plants. So it's like
Hmm.
epiphyte, like on top of another plant species. So, for example, like most of the epiphytes are either bromeliaceae or orchidaceae. So, like orchids or bromeliaceae, for example, the pineapple is a bromeliaceae as well. And most of them like grow on top of like, or you will see them like around the tree, like the roots
Hmm.
attached to the tree.
Hmm. But it's not a parasite, so
Yeah.
it's just growing on top of it.
hmm So it's not
Mm.
using the water or the nutrients from the tree. It's getting the nutrients and water from the air. So,
It just needs to use the tree to get a little higher to be able to spread a little bit more to get more
yes,
oxygen, to get
for the
more air.
light,
Things.
more light. hmm
Amazing. We have one question that came in from YouTube that wants to know, how do you know if a tree is going extinct?
That is a good question. Thank you. So there are a couple of different like sets of reasons why a tree might go extinct. The first one is because they are ecologically rare. They just are scarce in the forest. There's a lot of species that do that. So when you have low population numbers and then in combination with having less habitat, that can make it be going in this risk. But then other species have been very intensively used because of the wood or some other uses that humans have. So there's another pressure of for that kind of species. But either because they're rare or because they're heavily used, climate change and land use change that puts so much more pressure into a species to be in danger.
So there's a lot of different things that influence it. It's not just one thing.
Mhm.
It's a group effort, extinction.
Yeah, that's sad, but it's a group effort recuperation also.
Exactly. And with the conservation efforts that OSA's doing, what are the kind of the main goals that you guys are working on there?
As an organization, we have so many different conservation programs. So we actually work from sea turtles, wildlife monitoring, movement ecology of big mammals, um, marine conservation, you name it. But within the tropical forests, we have the aim to reconnect by doing restoration the patches of forest that already exist from the Osa Peninsula to kind of the higher elevations in southern Costa Rica. So we can create real biological corridors so wildlife can move and plants can move also. And we also have the specific goal of having positive impact in the conservation status of threatened tree species, threatened or rare or endemic.
Very nice. We have another question that's coming in from Kelowna, BC. Some grade fours would like to know, when was OSA Conservation started and who founded it?
Super. Osa Conservation has been working since decades now. But as Osa Conservation, I mean, with that name and with this kind of mission since I think 2006, and it, it has had many people involved from the early stages. But Adrian Forsyth, a renowned ecologist, is the founder of Osa Conservation.
Amazing. And the both of you, have you been working with it for a while, you said?
Yeah, well, I have been here for getting close to 5 years now.
And I'm only here 2 months, but I feel like I learned so much like in the 2 months. Feels like I've been here like way longer because I
Mhm.
experienced so much here. So nice.
Amazing. Well, I think that's the time that we have for today. We got some good questions coming in. It was so great to explore the different levels of the canopy with you guys and to have some time to learn more about Osa Conservation. Is there anywhere that people could go to learn a little bit more about your organization and the initiatives?
Yeah. We have a website that is osaconservation.org. You can learn everything about us through the website, but also follow us on social media, especially Instagram or Twitter. You can find us, like us, Lily and me, and Osa Conservation in there.
Fantastic. Yeah, and on Exploring by the City of Parents Instagram and our social media accounts, we have your social media handles tagged. So if anyone's interested, they can go and check that out there. But I'd like to thank everybody for joining to take some time to explore a different ecosystem today. And we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
It was lovely sharing with you. And please do get in touch if you have any questions.
Thanks all.